In this tutorial, we are going to be solving the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE Mathematics question, Alternative A, Paper 1, and we are going to be looking at Section 1 in this tutorial. Let's get started. This is question 1 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A, Paper 1. The question states, without using mathematical tables or a calculator, evaluate 5.4 over 0.025 times 3.6. And the question carries 3 marks. There are a lot of ways you can approach this question, but we are going to use one in this tutorial. 5.4 over 0.025 times 3.6. What you are going to do here is to firstly convert 0.025 to standard form. This will now become 5.4 over 2.5 times 10 raised to the power minus 2 times 3.6. We can further simplify this to be equal to 5.4 over, if you look at the denominator, we have multiplication sign, so we can interchange these numbers. So we now have 2.5 times 3.6 times 10 to the power of negative 2. Now we multiply 2.5 times 3.6. I will quickly do that since we are not using calculator or a mathematical table. To multiply 2.5 times 3.6, we are going to multiply directly by using the multiplication method. 25 times 36. 6 times 5 is 30. We write 0 and keep 3. You have to be fast with this since we are not going to use a calculator. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 3, that is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. We write 5 and keep 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, that is 7. Adding this, we have 0, 0, and 9. This is 900. But since we are multiplying 2.5 and 3.6, and we have two numbers behind points, which is 5 and 6, we are going to count our points in two places, 1, 2, and this now equal to 9.00. Let's go back to our question. We now have 5.4 all over 2.5 times 3.6 equal to 9.0 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. We can further simplify this to be equal to 5.4 over 9.0 times 1 over 10 to the power of negative 2. What we have here, what we did here is to split this equation into two. This particular question. Now split it into two to have 5.4 over 9.0 times 1 over 10 to the power of negative 2. To find 5.4 over 9.0, we change this decimal point to fraction. It will now become 54 over 10 divided by 9.0, that is also 9 over 1 times 1 over 10 to the power of negative 2 is 100. And this also equals to 54 over 10 times 1 over 9 times 100. Let's delete this for us to have more space to work with. To further simplify this, we now have 9a1, 9a6. 6 divided by 10 is 0.6. That is 0.6 times 100. And this equals to 60. So the answer to number 1 is 60. After we simplify 5.4 over 0.025 times 3.6. This is question 2 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A, Paper 1. The question states, express 1,728 and 20,025 in terms of their prime factors. Hence, evaluate the cube root of 1,728 divided by the square root of 2025. And the question carries 4 marks. The first thing we have to do here is to find the prime factors of the two numbers. The first one is 1,728. To find that, we draw a cross. So here we have 1,728, and the smallest number that we go in 1,728 apart from 1 is 2. So 2 in this number we have 864. 2 we also go, 2 in 864 equals to 432. 2 we also go, 2 in 432 we have 216. 2 we also go again, 2 in 216 we have 108. 2 we also go again, 2 in 108 we have 54. 2 we also go again, 2 in 54 is 27. Now 2 will not go again, the next number that we go is 3. 3 in 27 is 9. 3 will go again, 3 in 27 is 3. 3 in 3 is 1. Also the prime factors of 2025. 2025. Just like we did for the first one, we draw another cross. And here the smallest number that we go in 2025 is 3, apart from 1. 3 in 2025 is 675. 3 in 625, we have 225. 3 will go again. 3 in 225, we have 75. 3 will go again. 3 in 75 is 25. 3 will not go again. The next number that we go is not 4 but 5. 5 in 25 equals to 5. And 5 in 5 equals to 1. Now to write the prime factors of these two numbers out, the first one is 1728. The prime factors are 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. And the prime factors of 2025 are 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. Since we are looking for the cube roots of this first number, we take the prime factors in 3 pairs. So this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So from here we now have 2. Since everything is 2, from here we have 2. We also have 2 here. We are looking for the square root of 2025, so we take this in 2 pairs. Here we have 3. This is another 3, and we have 5 here. So the cube root of 1728 is going to be these numbers multiplied by themselves. This is 3. 2 times 2 times 3. And the answer to this is 12. And over here is going to be 3 times 3 times 5. And the answer to this is 45. So the cube root of 1728 is 12, while the square root of 2025 is 45. The question states we should find the cube root of 1728 divided by the square root of 2025. We already know that the cube root of 1728 is 12, and the square root of 2025 is 45. So we now have 12 over 45. 3 in 12 is 4, and 3 in 45 is 15. So the answer is 4 over 15. This is question 3 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A, Paper 1. The question states, Juma left his home at 8:30 a.m. He drove a distance of 140 km and arrived at his aunt's home at 10:15 a.m. Determine the average speed in km per hour for Juma's journey. To make us understand this question, let's write out some terms. Let's make T1 the time that Juma left his home, which is 8:30 a.m. and T2 the time that Juma arrived at his aunt's home, which is 10:15 a.m. and the total distance D equal to 140 kilometer. We should remember that speed equals to distance all over time. Speed equal to distance over time. From these our parameters that we are given in this question, we already have our distance, which is 140 kilometer. We are looking for speed and we can calculate our time. So the major task now is how do we get the time? I would like us to simplify this question to make us understand it better. So let's calculate the number of hours between 10:15 to 8:30. How do we do this? Let's simplify it by writing it out. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock to 9:30 to 10 o'clock to 10:15. This is what we have. We have 8:30, which is the starting time, and 10:15, which is the ending time. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we have 30 minutes. From 9 o'clock to 9:30, we have 30 minutes. From 9:30 to 10 o'clock, we still have another 30 minutes. And from 10 o'clock to 10:15, we have 15 minutes. So we can see here that 30 and 30, this is 1 hour. 30 plus 15, this is 45 minutes. If we look at the question, we are looking for the speed in kilometer per hour. So we have to convert 1 hour, 45 minutes to hours. How do we do this? If we divide 45 by 60, we are going to have 0.75 hours. Therefore, 45 minutes equal to 0.75 hours. If you add that to 1, we now have 1 hour plus 0.75 hour. We have 1.75 hours. So back to our question, we already have our distance, which is 140, and our time, which is 1.75. So let's calculate the speed. Speed will now be equal to distance, which is 140 over 1.75, and the answer is 80 kilometer per hour. If you get the question, you've gotten yourself a 3 marks. This is question 4 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A Paper 1. The question states, expand and simplify 4 to the bracket q plus 6 plus 7 to the bracket q minus 3, and the question carries 2 marks. The first thing we have to do, as the question states, is to expand this equation, or this expression rather. We have 4 to the bracket q plus 6 plus 7 into bracket q minus 3. We expand this bracket and the other bracket. 4 times q is 4q plus 4 times 6 is 24 plus 7 times q is 7q minus 7 times 3 is 21. Now we collect like times. We carry q and q together and the numbers 24 and 21 together. We now have 4q plus 7q plus 21 minus plus 24 minus 21, and this equal to 4 plus 7 is 11. 11q plus 24 minus 21 is 3, and this is the answer, 11q plus 3. This is question 5 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A Paper 1. The question states, in the trapezium PQRS shown below, PQ equal to 8 cm and SR equal to 6 cm. If the area of the trapezium is 28 cm square, find the perpendicular distance between PQ and SR, and the question carries 2 marks. To start with, let's redraw the trapezium. trapezium goes like this. Sorry for my bad drawing. Here we have SR and we have PQ. The smaller distance is 6 centimeter, while the wider length is 8 centimeter. From the question, the area of this trapezium equal to 28 centimeter square, and we have to find the perpendicular distance between PQ and SR. From the law of trapezium, we can see that what we are being asked to find here is the height, which is h. In the law of trapezium, we have that the area of trapezium equal to 1 over 2 a plus b h, where the smaller length is a and the wider length is b. So here we are going to have area, which is 28, equal to 1 over 2. Our a is 6 plus b, which is 8, h, which is what we are looking for. Let me draw a line here. We now have 28 equal to 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 over 2h. If we divide 14 by 2, 2 here 1 and 2 here 7, we now have 28 equal to 7h. And to get h, we divide the both sides by 7. 7 will cancel 7, and we have h to be equal to 28 divided by 7, which is 4. And the answer is 4 centimeter. The perpendicular distance between PQ and SR is 4 centimeter. This is question 6 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A, Paper 1. The question states, given that the cube root of 9 to the power of 4 equals to 3 to the power of n, find the value of n, and the question carries 3 marks. This question is coming from indices, and we have to be very careful in answering it. Let's go one step at a time. To rewrite the question, we have the cube root of 9 to the power of 4 equals to 3 to the power of n. And from this question, we are looking for n. In the law of indices, let me rewrite this. We know that if you have the square root of a, this can also be written as a to the power of 1 over 2. Again, if you have the cube root of a, this can also be written as a to the power of 1 over 3. So we are going to use these laws for this question. Let's clean this off. Coming back to our question, so we can say that 3, the cube root of 9 to the power of 4, can be written as 9 to the power of 4, everything to the power of 1 over 3, equal to 3n. And since brackets denote multiplication, we can say that this equals to 9 to the power of 4 times 1 over 3, equal to 3 to the power of n. And this is 9 to the power of 4 over 3, equal to 3 to the power of n. Let's rule a line here. Now we have 9 and 3. To make this easier for us, let's make the base to be equal. We know that 3 to the power of 2 equals to 9. And from this question, we see that 9 also raised to the power of 4 over 3, which equals to 3 to the power of n. And we can say this equals to 3 to the power of 2 times 4 over 3, which equals to 3 to the power of n. This will now be 3 to the power of 8 over 3 equals to 3 to the power of n. In indices, you can also note that if you have common base, that is, if a to the power of m equals to a to the power of n, the base can cancel the base and we can have m equal to n. So the same thing will be applied in this question. We can now cancel our 3, which equals to 8 over 3 equal to n. This can be written as n equal to 8 over 3. And to convert this improper fraction to mixed fraction, we are going to have 8 over 3 to be equal to 2 whole number 2 over 3. And that is the answer for question 6. This is question 7 of the KCSE 2019 Alternative A, Paper 1. The question states 3 villages A, B, and C are such that B is 50 km on a bearing of 295 degrees from A, and C is 75 km east of B. A part of the question states, using a scale of 1 cm to represent 10 km, draw a diagram to show the relative positions of villages A, B, and C. And the question carries 2 marks. So let's get started with this question. The question states 3 villages A, B, and C are such that B is 53 km on a bearing of 295 degrees from A. Since the bearing is from A, we start our coordinates from A. So if you have point A here with the 4 cardinal points, this is point A. And they said B is 53 km on a bearing of 295. From here to here, we have 90 degrees, we have 180 degrees, we have 270 degrees, and somewhere around there, we can have 295 degrees. So if you trace this up, so we have our village B over here. So we have village B over here and we have village A. So this is 295 degrees. And the question also says that from A and C is 75 degree kilometer east of B. If you draw the 4 cardinal points, this is north, east, west, and south. So this is B. They said C is 75 km east of B. Since we know that this is the east of B, then we draw this, which is 75 km. We can stop somewhere around there. This is village C. Let's go back to what the question states about scale. The question states, using the scale of 1 cm to represent 10 km, draw a diagram to show the relative position of villages A, B, and C. We know that distance between A, B is 53 km, and distance between B, C is 75 km. But they say we are going to use a scale of 1 cm to represent 10 km. Therefore, distance AB will become 5.3 km, 5.3 centimeter rather, and town BC, the distance between town BC will become 7.5 centimeter. And we can write our scale down here that 1 centimeter represents 10 km. So this is the answer to question A, which said draw a diagram to show the relative positions of villages A, B, and C. The B part of question 7 states, determine the distance in kilometer from A to C. To do this, to make things easier for us, it's better we work with kilometer right from the beginning. So I'm going to change this to 53 kilometer and this to 75 kilometer. And here we are looking for distance AC, which is this distance. This is what you're looking for, distance AC. So we can make this part to be A. Let's call this side C, and let's call this side B. Now we are looking for side B. Let's go back to cosine rule in mathematics. Cosine rule states that if you have a situation like this, we can say that B square equal to A square plus C square minus 2AC cos B. This is cosine rule, and this is what we're going to use to solve this question. Now let's look at what we have. We are looking for B. We already have A, which is 75 km, and we have C, which is 53 km. We are looking for, we also need cos B, so we are looking for angle B. So how do we get this angle? From alternate angle, we can say that the angle here, since we know that from this starting point to this point is 295, then we can find the smaller one by subtracting 295 from, by subtracting 270 from 295. So 295 minus 270 will be equal to 25 degrees. So we are going to have 25 degrees here. And if you have 25 degrees here, from alternate angle, something like this, these angles, they are equal, we can say that angle B equal to 25 degrees. Therefore, we can go back to our question, which is B square equal to A square is 75 square plus C square, which is 53 square, minus 2 times 75 times 53 equals 25. And if you solve everything here, we're going to have B square equal to 1228.85, and B equal to the square root of 1228.85. Therefore, B equal to 35.06 kilometer. And we can say that distance from C from A, which is distance AC, equal to 35.06 kilometer. That is question 7B. This is question 8 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, Paper 1 question. The question states, a retailer bought a bag of tea leaves. If the retailer were to repack the tea leaves into smaller packets of either 40 gram, 250 gram, or 350 gram, determine the least mass in grams of the tea leaves in the bag. This is quite a technical question, but we are going to explain it. What they are trying to tell us in this question is that if you have a retailer, let's use the letter R to represent the retailer, and the retailer has a bag of tea leaves. Let's say the mass that is inside it is X gram. They now said if the retailer is to repack the bag in either 40 gram, 250 gram, or 350 gram, it's going to fit in to whatever the mass is inside the bag. Let me explain that again. That is, a retailer has a mass which is X gram, in which if the retailer divides it into 40 grams, it's going to fit in perfectly. Or if the retailer divides it into 250 grams, it's going to fit in perfectly. Or if the retailer divides the gram into 350 grams, there will be no remainder, as we have seen in the other cases. So that is what we are looking for. We are looking for that number whereby if you divide it by 40, if you divide it by 250, and we divide it by 350, we are not going to have any remainder, which is simply the LCM of 40, 250, and 350. So the question here is to find the LCM of 40, 250, and 350. So let's write these numbers out one after the other. For 40, you can write the prime factors to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. For 250, we will have 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. And for 350, we have 2 times 5 times 5 times 7. Here we have 2 to the power of 3 times 5. And here we have 2 times 5 to the power of 3. And here we have 2 to the power of 1 times 5 to the power of 2 times 7. Let's now pick the numbers one after the other. So LCM is equal to 2. The highest power of 2 is 3. So we pick 2 to the power of 3 times 5. The highest power of 5 is 3. So we pick 5 to the power of 3 times 7. The highest power of 7 is 1, which is 7 to the power of 1. And if you multiply this, we are going to have 7,000. So the answer is 7,000 gram. The least mass in gram of the tea leaf in the bag will be 7,000 grams. This is question 9 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, Paper 1 question. The question states, given that sine 2x equal to cos 3x minus 10 degree, find tan x correct to 4 significant figures. And the question carries 3 marks. This is a technical question and we have to look at it very carefully. From the question, we are given that sine 2x equal to cos 3x minus 10 degrees. Recall that in trigonometry, if you have sine x This is also equals to cos 90 minus x. Therefore, the same thing, if you have sine 2x, this will be equal to cos 90 minus 2x. This is from trigonometry. Now, we now have two parts in this question. The first part and the second part. What we do now is to relate. We relate the first part and the second part. Here we have that sine 2x equal to cos 3x minus 10. And here we have that sine 2x equal to cos 90 minus 2x. Then we relate. So we can say that cos 3x minus 10 equal to cos 90 minus 2x. And here cos can cancel out cos. We now have 3x minus 10 equal to 90 minus 2x. And here, if we collect like terms, we are going to have 3x plus 2x equal to 90 plus 10. And that is 5x equal to 100. Let's draw a line here. And we can have that x equal to 100 divided by 5. And answer to this is 20 degrees. So we know that x is 20 degrees. Now to find tan x, that will be tan x equal to tan 20 degrees. And tan 20 degrees, if you check your 4-figure tables, the answer is 0.3640. That is to 4 significant figures. This is question 10 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, paper 1. The question states, a tourist converted 5,820 US dollars into Kenya shillings at the rate of 102.10 shillings per dollar. While in Kenya, he spent 450,000 shillings and converted the balance into dollars at the rate of 103.00 shillings per dollar. Calculate the amount of money to the nearest dollar that remained. And the question carries 3 marks. For this type of question, you have to go one step at a time, one after the other. The first part is a tourist converted 5,820 US dollar. That is US dollar 5,820. So let's convert this amount to Kenya shillings. From the question, we have that $1 will be equal to KSA 102.10. Therefore, 5,820 will be equal to x. To get the value of x, we multiply 5,820 times 102.10. And from this part, we have that x equal to Kenya shillings 5,094,222. After the tourist convert 5,820 US dollar to Kenya shillings, the tourist has 594,222. Let's draw a line here. So while in Kenya, he spent 450,000. So when the tourist was in Kenya, he spent 450,000. So if you subtract 450,000 from the amount of shillings that the tourist has, we are going to have Kenya shillings 144,222. 144,222. This is the amount of Kenya shillings that remain after the tourist spent 450,000 Kenya shillings. The question continues and says, he spent 450,000 Kenya shillings and converted the balance into dollars at the rate of 103 Kenya shillings per dollar. So when the tourist was going back, they said $1 will be equal to 103 Kenya shillings. So let's convert this amount back to dollar. So x dollar will now be equal to 144,222, and x will be equal to 144,222 Kenya shillings divided by 103. And here, if you press your calculator, we are going to have 144,222 divided by 103, and the answer here is 1,400.214. The concept is converted to the nearest dollar, so we are going to have x to be equal to US dollar 1,400. So the balance that remains is 1,400 US dollar. This is question 11 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A Paper 1 question. The question states, given that vector B equal to 2, 4, 4, vector C equal to 3, 2, and vector A equal to 3C minus 2B, find the magnitude of A correct to decimal places. Before we do anything, let's write our vectors. We know that we have vector B because it's written in bold letter equal to 2 and 4, and vector C equal to 3 and 2. One advice is that while answering this type of question, make sure you write your vectors also in bold letter. And we have vector A, which equal to 3C minus 2B. So we have to find the magnitude of vector A, and we see that vector A equal to 3C minus 2B. What 3C simply means is that we are going to multiply a vector by a scalar, that is vector C by a scalar 3 and vector B by the scalar 2. So A will now be equal to 3, this is scalar multiplication, times C. C is 3, 2, minus 2, B is 2, 4. Since this is scalar multiplication, we are going to have 3 to multiply all the elements of vector C. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 2 is 6, minus the other part, 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So if you subtract this using vector subtraction, we're going to have 9 minus 4 and 6 minus 8. And we have vector A to be equal to 9 minus 4 is 5, 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So to find the magnitude of vector A, which is represented as this A in 2 strokes, this is going to be equal to the square root of 5 square plus the square root of negative 2 square. To continue, this will be equal to the square root of 5 square is 25 plus the square root of negative 2 is 4, and this is the square root of 29, which equals to 5.39 correct to 2 decimal places. This is question 12 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A Paper 1 question. This is a question based on construction. I'm not going to be demonstrating that, but I will give you some tips that will make you to answer this type of question in a better way. Let's read the question. The question says that using a ruler and a pair of compass only, construct a rhombus PQRS such that PQ equal to 6 cm and angle SPQ equal to 75 cm. Measure the length of PR. We are going to measure the length of PR. Now, the first tip I want to give you is that if you are drawing a rhombus, note that all sides must be equal, just like a square. So if you want to construct this rhombus, I will advise that you start from the angle first. So first look for angle 75 degrees, which is the angle of SPQ. And note that whenever you have this kind of sign, it means the angle that must be on letter P. So angle P must be equal to 75 degrees. That's what this simply means. If this see this angle, they then write SPQ. That means the letter in the middle is the one that takes the angle, which means angle P equals to 75 degrees. And if you want to letter your rhombus, this is how your rhombus look like. Also note that all sides are equal, just like square. Okay, a rhombus look like this. This one is not drawn to scale, and you might possibly have your angle to look like the numbering to be like P, Q, R, S. You make sure you number around the shape P, Q, R, S. So in this type of scenario, what they're asking you is to calculate the length between P and Q, this length. Make sure you number make sure you letter correctly. You must letter around the shape, that is P, Q, R, S. Don't letter like this. This is just a quick tip. Make sure you don't put it like P, Q, R, S. This is not correct. It must be P, Q, then R here and S here. So that is the quick tip if you want to answer this type of question. This is question 13 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, Paper 1. And the question says that solve the inequality 2x minus 1 less than or equal to 3x plus 4 less than 7 minus x. And the question carries 3 marks. There are a lot of ways you can approach this question. Is that you solve the 3 parts at the same time, or you split the equation. But to make this simpler, I'm going to split the equation. First of all, let us rewrite the equation. We have 2x minus 1 less than or equal to 3x plus 4 less than 7 minus x. And here I'm going to split this equation into 2 to make it easier for us to work with. It will now be 2x minus 1 less than or equal to 3x plus 4. And the second part will be 3x plus 4 less than 7 minus x. To get the answer to this inequality, these two parts of the equation must be true. Let's see that. To solve this, let's subtract 3x from both sides. We have 2x minus 1 minus 3x less than or equal to 3x plus 4 minus 3x. And here the 3x cancel each other. Here we have minus x minus 1 less than or equal to 4. To eliminate 1 in the left hand side, let's add 1 to both sides. We have minus x minus 1 plus 1 less than or equal to 4 plus 1. And this is minus x minus 1 plus 1 cancel each other, less than or equal to 5. And this can turn to x greater than or equal to minus 5. Now back to the second part. To eliminate 4, now let's first eliminate x. We are going to add x to both sides. Here we have 3x plus 4 less than 7 minus x plus x. And this is plus x here also. This is 4x plus 4 less than minus x plus x cancel each other, less than 7. To eliminate 4, we subtract 4 from both sides. It is 4x plus 4 minus 4 less than 7 minus 4. And this is plus 4 minus 4 cancel each other. We have 4x less than 3. And we can say x less than 3 over 4. Now, how do we find the final answer to this inequality? Let me do that in this small box over here. The two parts we are going to be using is this part and this part. Here we already have that negative x less than or equal to 5, and here x less than 3 over 4. To write the answer to this inequality, we are now going to have minus x less than equal to let's write that. This place, by this way it might be a little bit longer. Let's redo it. Note that we can also turn this one to be equal to minus 5 less than or equal to x. Therefore, to make our answer to be simpler, we can write it as minus 5 less than or equal to x less than 3 over 4. And this is the answer. Minus 5 less than or equal to x less than 3 over 4. Just to make x to be in the middle, that's how we write this particular answer like this. Then since we already have x in the middle here, and this is less than 3 over 4. And one thing you have to consider is that if you are solving this type of question, you must make the smaller number to be at the front. Here we have minus 5 to be before 3 over 4 because minus 5 is smaller than 3 over 4. This is question 14 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A Paper 1 question. The question states, given that A equal to a matrix 2, 3, 4, 4, B equal to another matrix x1, 2, 3, and that AB is a singular matrix, find the value of x. And the question carries 3 marks. The first thing we have to note here is, what do we call a singular matrix? Again, what do we call a singular matrix? If a square matrix has a determinant of 0, then we call that matrix a square matrix. Again, if a square matrix has a determinant which is 0, then it is called a singular matrix. That is what we refer to as singular matrix. Again, if a square matrix has a determinant which is 0, then we call that square matrix a singular matrix. And what is a square matrix? A square matrix is simply a matrix in which the number of row and the number of column is the same, just like a 2 by 2 matrix or a 3 by 3 matrix. So the first thing we have to look for here is to find the multiplication of matrix A and B. Again, we have matrix A to be equal to 2, 3, 4, 4, and B equal to x 1, 2, 3. Now let's find AB, which is the multiplication of matrix A and B. Then we multiply 2 by x to have 2x plus 3 by times 2, that is 6. To get this side, we multiply 4 times x, that is 4x plus 4 times 2, which is 8. The other side, we multiply 2 by 1, this is 2, plus 3 times 1, 3. And 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 4 times 3, which is 12. I think I made a mistake here. This will be 9. Since we are multiplying 3 and 3, this is 9. So this now equals to 2x plus 6, 4x plus 8, 2 plus 9 is 11, and 4 plus 12 is 16. This is our matrix AB. Since we have that matrix AB is singular, then the determinant of AB must be equal to 0. Now let's find the determinant of AB. Let me remove this and use the sign of the determinant. This is plus and minus. So determinant of AB be equal to plus 2x plus 6 times 16 minus 11 into bracket 4x plus 8. This is determinant. We are simply looking for the determinant of this matrix. So 16 times 2 is 32x plus 16 times 6 is 96 minus 11 times 4 is minus 44x minus 88. That is 11 times 8. Since it's a singular matrix, this must be equal to 0. Let's draw a line here. So to collect like times, we are going to have 32 minus 32x minus 44x equal to 88 minus 96. So let's press that into the calculator. 32 minus 44 equal to minus 12, and 88 minus 96 equal to minus 8. So to find x, we simply divide through by 12 minus 12. We now have x equal to 8 over 12. And to take this to the simpler form, we are going to have x equal to 2 over 3. And that is the value of x for this question. This is question 15 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, Paper 1 question. And the question states that a trader bought 2 types of bulb, A and B, at 60 Kenya shillings and 56 Kenya shillings respectively. She bought a total of 50 bulbs of both type at a total of 2,872 Kenya shillings. Determine the number of type A bulb that she bought. We have to determine the number of type A bulbs that she bought. To make this simpler for us, let's put A here, which is bulb A, and B here, this is type B bulb. Type A bulb was purchased for 60 Kenya shillings, and type B bulb was purchased for 56 Kenya shillings. And we are given that she bought a total of 50 bulbs. So let x be the number of bulb A that she bought. So x equal to the number of type A bulb, and let y equal to the number of type B bulb. Therefore, from the second statement, we have that x plus y equal to 50. This is equation 1. Since the number of type A bulbs and the number of type B bulbs equals to 50. Let's continue with the question. She bought a total of 50 bulbs of both types at a total of 2,872 Kenya shillings. Therefore, if you multiply the number of type A bulb that she bought by 60 and the number of type B bulb that she bought by 56, and we add this, we are going to have 2,872. So this will be 60x plus 56y equal to 2,872. Now we have a simultaneous equation. The first equation is x plus y equal to 50. Equation 1, and this is equation 2. Let's solve one after the other. From equation 1, you can have that y equal to 50 minus x. Let's call this equation 3. Then if you put equation 3 into equation 2, so wherever we see y in equation 2, we turn it to 50 minus x. Let's rewrite equation 2 then. It will be 60x plus 56 50 minus x equal to 2,872. Let me draw a small line here to complete the work. So let's try to expand this. We have 60x plus 2,800 minus 56x equal to 2,872. Then this will be 60 minus 56 is 4. 4x equal to 2,872 minus 2,800. 4x will now be equal to 72. And if you divide through by x, we are going to have x to be equal to 18, which is 72 divided by 4. Now we have gotten our x. Now let's look for y. There's no need for us to look for y actually, because we already know that x is the number of type A bulb that she bought. But we can also look for y by saying that y equal to 50 minus x, and this equal to 50 minus 18. So whatever the answer is here, that is the number of type B bulb. So let's calculate it. 50 minus 18, that is 32. But we don't need this, we only need x, which is the number of type A bulb. That's what the question asks us to find. So the number of type A bulbs equal to 18, which is x that we have here. X to be equal to number of type A bulbs. So that is question number 15. This is question 16 of the KCSE 2019 Mathematics Alternative A, Paper 1, and which is also the last question in section 1. The question states, a bus plies between two towns P and R via town Q daily. On each day, it departs from P at 8:15 a.m. and stops for 40 minutes at Q before proceeding to R. On a certain day, the bus took 5 hours 40 minutes to travel from P to Q and 3 hours 15 minutes to travel from Q to R. Find in 24-hour clock system the time the bus arrived at R, and the question carries 3 marks. Let's try to visualize this by drawing some sketches. Let's say this is town P. The bus travels through town Q, then to town R. This is the first sentence. The second sentence says that on each day it departs from P at 8:15. So every day the bus departs from P at 8:15 a.m. and stops for 40 minutes at town Q. So every day the bus stops for 40 minutes at town Q before going to R. So on a certain day, the bus took 5 hours 40 minutes to travel from P to Q. So on this day, between P to Q, the bus took 5 hours 40 minutes to travel from P to Q and 3 hours 15 minutes to travel from Q to R. So on this day also, from Q to R, the bus traveled for 3 hours 15 minutes. So the question asks us to find the time the bus arrived at R. Note that the bus left town P at 8:15. So let's look at the total number of hours that the bus used to travel. We are going to add 5 hours 40 minutes, which is the distance between the number of hours between P and Q. The bus will also stop in town Q for 40 minutes, so plus 40 minutes. Then plus the number of time that the bus spent from Q to R, which is 3 hours 15 minutes. So let's add this. 5 hours 40 minutes plus 40 minutes. If we carry 20 minutes from 40 minutes to join this, we have 60 minutes. This now turns to 6 hours 20 minutes. Then we add it with 3 hours 15 minutes. So this will now become 6 plus 3 is 9 hours 35 minutes. So for the total length of the journey, the bus used 9 hours 35 minutes to travel. So we are going to look for the time it arrived at town R. Since we know that the bus left at 8:15, let's add all this hour to 8:15. It will be easy for us since we are looking for the time in 24-hour clock system. So time the bus arrived at R will be equal to 8:15 a.m. plus 9 hours 35 minutes. And this will be equal to, we just add directly, 8 plus 9 is 17, and 15 plus 35 is 50. So the bus arrived at 17:50 in 24-hour clock system.